I'm sorry to start out by being a party killer today, because you guys just totally failed. I'm so sorry. Earlier today at this TEDx event, we had lunch, and it was a really nice lunch. We had it outside. The weather was good and everything was fine, but you guys just left a total mess. You left the lunch areas looking like this. Like that. Without even noticing, you guys left just plates, napkins, you name it, everywhere. It was such a mess. But today I'm going to talk about how changing human behavior can make the world a greener and better place to live. Because I did something, actually. I put up notes saying, your mom doesn't work here, clean up your own mess. But I guess none of you noticed it. Or maybe you just didn't care. Or maybe you didn't really intend to make a mess, but you just did it anyway. Because I'm going to let you in on something. I fail all the time. And I'm going to tell you a bit about that. This is me. Every day I get up and I brush my teeth. I do that twice a day, every morning and every evening. But that's not the problem. The problem is that while I'm brushing my teeth, I leave the water running. And leaving the water running for 5 minutes every day means that I'm wasting 20 liters of water every day just by brushing my teeth. And on an annual basis, this means that I could be flushing my toilet more than 600 times and still I wouldn't waste the same amount of water. So that's crazy. I mean, yeah. And the weirdest thing is that I actually see myself as a responsible person. I don't intend to waste water, and I know what the right thing is. I know I should be turning off the water while brushing my teeth. But every day, I just end up doing the same thing anyway. And another crazy thing is that every day I drive my kids to school. I take the same way, and I actually see myself as a responsible driver. I'm pretty experienced, if I should say myself, and I know all the traffic rules. But despite of that, I find myself texting my husband while I'm driving. I find myself not checking the mirrors, and I find myself speeding in areas where I know I'm not supposed to. So I'm actually having a really hard time following my good intentions and what I know is the right thing to do. Because these situations, they just go on and on and on, all day long. So, who cares? I mean, why is this even interesting to talk about? Well, I think it's really interesting. Because today we are over 7 billion smart people on this planet. And I believe that most of us actually intend, or actually all of us, intend to do the right thing. And I think a lot of the times we know what the right thing is. So we are not lacking motivation or knowledge, but somehow during our everyday life, we end up doing something completely different. And it's starting to create serious problems for us. Today, we spend more fresh water than the planet can provide. And today, every day, 3,000 people are killed in traffic. And today, more than half the world population live in countries where people die of overweight and obesity instead of underweight. So, our everyday behavior is starting to create serious problems for us. We are having such a hard time following our good intentions and what we know is the right thing. So our everyday behavior is actually the biggest threat to mankind today. But we can change that. We can make great solutions that can change that. But in order to do that, we have to understand what drives human behavior. And basically, human behavior is driven by two systems: the automatic system and the reflexive system. And let me demonstrate to you what that means. Now have a look at this picture. All of us in here can see that this is a woman, and she looks a bit upset. So it's pretty fair to conclude that this is a really angry woman. And this conclusion came pretty fast to us. It was effortless, and we couldn't have not seen the angry woman. This is an example of automatic thinking. Now have a look at this picture up here. All of us in here can see that it's a piece of math. It's a blackboard with white numbers. But if I asked you to tell me the result, some of us would need a piece of paper and a pen and a little bit of time to solve it. And those of you who's already calculating, you can stop now. The result is 4,179, so stop calculating. But the conclusion of this, it didn't come to us as fast as the angry woman. It's slow. And if we all sat down and started figuring out the result, we can actually measure our blood sugar dropping. And this is an example of reflective thinking. Biologically, we are coded to save as much energy as possible. So we always try to avoid being reflective for too long. Another important thing we have to take into consideration when working with humans is our basic instincts. And one of them is our pack mentality. And that's actually one of the strongest basic instincts we have. Our pack mentality means that we mirror the people around us. We do what we see other people do. If they stand in line, we start queuing behind them. If people start to whisper, we lower our voices. And this instinct is so strong that it actually overrules a lot of our own good intentions or what we know is the right thing. Because what happened today at lunch was I gave you the information that your mom doesn't work here, and you had to clean up your own mess. But anyway, what you did was that you just started mirroring the behavior of the people around you. So when they left a plate on the ground, you did the same. And that's how we ended up with the mess. Our basic instincts often overrule what we know is the right thing. Another thing we have to take into consideration is our human flaws. We have tons of them. But one of them is having very limited attention. We are very bad at keeping attention and very bad at taking it out at the moment where we need it the most. So if somebody a week ago told you, don't smoke here, and then you come back a week later, then the odds that you're actually going to pull out that information in that moment when you're back in the same area are so small. That means that we live in the now. Our behavior is relying on everything that's around us right now. I'm walking on the stage according to how the things are right here, and that's how we actually live. We are not that reflective. So, when we have to change this, we have to use all these insights to create solutions. And I'm just going to introduce you to some cases I've made where I based it on these insights. This summer, I did a project where I had to change the behavior of people going to the beach. Because here was the problem. The trash cans at the beaches looked like this. All the garbage was mixed together in different materials. Glass, plastic, and metal, it was mixed together. And if we want to recycle garbage, it has to be divided into different materials. So what I had to do was to create a solution that could help people going to the beach sort their trash. And first, we have to look at the beach situation. Because when we go to the beach, we park our car and we get out of the car. But it's not just us. We bring food, towels, beach toys, kids, all kinds of stuff. And then we go to the beach. We stay at the beach for a couple of hours or so. And then we're ready to go home. But now we don't have any more food left. We only have the trash. And now the towels are wet, the beach toys are sandy, and the kids are probably really tired. So everybody is just really anxious to get back into the car without any drama. And this is the point where if we don't have a visible trash can inside, we are more likely to just leave the trash in the sand. Not because we are evil, or we don't care, or we are lazy, but just because our attention is directed to the kids and our towels and our beach toys. So we simply just forget. And if we even make it to the trash can with our trash, the odds that we're actually going to start sorting our trash at this moment are very small. So what I did, first of all, I rearranged all the trash cans so that they were visible from the beach side. That was the first step. So just to make sure that everybody at the beach could see a trash can. Second of all, I gave the trash cans different colors, and you can see them here. Because when we see 3 cans standing together and they have a different color, we intuitively understand that there's some kind of system going on here. And there's a certain behavior expected of us. So we intuitively try to figure out, okay, what does this mean? And the final element I did, because we have a tendency of telling people what we don't want them to do. Don't litter here, don't smoke here, don't throw your laundry here. And I actually find that showing people what you want them to do has a much better effect. So the last element, I put stickers on the trash cans showing people which beach-related trash goes in which can. And this July, all of these things were put together and tested. And after just 1 week, the trash cans looked like this. Everything was sorted into different materials: glass, metal, and plastic. So that was just one example on how we can work with our instincts and flaws. Another area where working with human behavior can have a really big impact is on digital media. Last year, I was challenged by the Danish Ministry of Taxation to make more young citizens adjust and check their income at the tax self-service site. Imagine starting your adult life with owing money. That might be the reality to a lot of young Danes if they don't start adjusting or just at least checking their income at the tax self-service site. And they actually have to do that every time their financial situation changes. So that means when they get a loan, when they get a job, if they start receiving benefits, and so on. There are 5 situations where young citizens have to interact with the self-service site. So what I did was create a separate online entrance for young citizens, and structuring it in a way to match the 5 situations, first of all. Secondly, I made it intuitive to use by replacing all the words with visual icons instead. And then finally, I rephrased all the tax-related phrases into human language. And the design looked like this. In April 2012, the site was tested. And we didn't do any promotion of the site whatsoever. But within 7 months, the number of young citizens adjusting their income at the self-service site went from 48,000 to 65,000. So just this tiny little thing significantly changed or reduced the risk of owing money to the taxman. So what I love about this is that our society is actually full of situations where we can work with human instincts and flaws and create a big difference. In democracies today, the number of young voters is descending, and this is becoming a serious problem. So right now I'm in the process of testing, actually, if I can use the human mirror, if I can use showing people voting to get other people to vote. And then, of course, I'm going to try to make it easy to vote or to go to the election polls, because it has to be as easy as possible so that we are not going to be too reflective for too long. Our instincts and flaws affect on everything we do. When we go to the supermarket, we spend all our energy trying to figure out what to make for dinner and what to buy to make that for dinner. And by the time we make it to the register, we're just so low on blood sugar that selling candy to us becomes really easy. And that's why the candy is always next to the register. So our instincts and flaws reflect on everything we do. How we spend our money, how we interact with products, how we litter, and so on. Everything in our life. And actually, you guys really succeeded today. Because you succeeded in being human. And you succeeded in showing what challenges we're facing when trying to change human behavior. So I'm just going to thank you for that. I'm here today because I believe that we all intend to do the right thing. And I actually believe that most of us know what the right thing is. But I think that our instincts and flaws keeps getting in our way. And changing that, we need someone to lead the way. And we can lead the way just by making tiny little changes in our own everyday behavior. If we start placing the dirty dish next to the sink instead of on the table, or if we have kids going into our home and not taking off their shoes before entering the house, we can just start leaving our own shoes in front of the door, and they will start mirroring that behavior. The same if we start whispering, and so on. We can change. So, I'm here today because I know that we have the power to be the change in the world we wish to see today. Thank you.